So multifaceted. Mara Sade. Sorry, I don't know if it's Sade or Sade. You guys get what I'm saying? I don't know the inflection on the cadence there yet. I got to hear her say it. But she announced her name. And I think I'm saying it right. Mara Sade. Now, as a French Canadian, god damn it, okay? This is called accent. Okay, an accent aigu makes an A sound and an accent grave makes an E sound. So this actually to me reads as Mara Sade, right? I've gone over this with Mercedes Moné in the past. Maybe, I don't know if anywhere else in the world the accent grave, okay? And there's accent circonflexe. Just unsubscribe right now because I'm sure I just made you all sick with that French. But anyways, Mara Sade is how she wants you to pronounce this. But I'm just pointing out, I think you got the accent backwards. I'm like 99% sure, at least in French for sure. But I don't know, maybe there's a language out there where they have that same accent and it makes an A sound. I don't know. I just studied this like growing up my whole life. Anyways, Sonya Deville calls Invicta FC announcing gig full circle after WWE stint. So we covered it here on the show a while back. I just played a promo of her being like, hey, I'm going to be with Invicta, and TNA helped promote it as well, right? Sonya is actually doing an announcing gig in Invicta, and this works for her. She's a real shooter. And so, yeah, I like this. And she knows how to cook on the mic for sure, right? Like they made her a GM. Typically, they make people GMs when it's like, oh, we don't, for whatever reason, they can't use them in the ring at the time, or they don't want to use them in the ring at the time, but it's somebody who they know can talk or can carry a show or whatever. Or be like the Jason Bateman in the Arrested Development, like the centerpiece, of the show. Nick Aldis does a good job of that, right? He sort of ties everything together and keeps it grounded. So typically it's people who are good on the stick. I think she will do good and be relatable is what I'm getting at here, folks. Taking a long way of getting there. She's going to be relatable and good on the headset, on the cans, making the call for Invicta. And I should check out some Invicta, man. It's been a long time, So the other show we were talking about, La Parka, LA Park. Yeah. La Parka Dos and La Parka Trace. So we broke down the timeline just for a quick refresher because it was so goddamn confusing when we were figuring it out live on the air the first time along with Chad. But basically there's La Parka, and then he left, I think, AAA long years and years and years ago, and they kept the name. So he changed his name to LA Park. Yeah. LA Park has like 2 or 3 kids who are all like LA Park Jr., El Hijo del LA Park or whatever. Yeah. And then La Parka, there was a La Parka 2 who passed away. And then now there's this young guy, La Parka 3, that everyone's really high on right now. To bring it back, here is LA Park. Yeah. Here is the OG La Parka. This is the original one. The chair swinging. This is him. I believe, right? If I have my chronology correct, you can correct me. Someone Wikipedia that as I spit it out, and I think I just freestyled it correctly. But either way, he's just like fighting fans, or like fans are chopping him in the crowd. I don't even know if this was a work or a shoot. At first, I was like, oh, he's just working with fans. But then it comes across kind of shooty. Apparently, him and his sons in MLW like went off for real with chairs on Hammerstone and Fatu or something like that. Or like they went off on Hammerstone, maybe not Fatu. I don't think anyone would go off on him, but maybe it was Fatu actually. But there was like a work shoot anyways where him and his sons got fired from MLW because they just went off and were like attacking Hammerstone and Jacob with chairs or whatever. Maybe we could watch that clip. I think we might have on the show actually. Anyways, I'm babbling a bunch. You guys tell me, work or shoot? No, like, see, that turns real. What happened? Like, how did this fan just think, okay, I think I understand what's going on. Like, so he chops the fan. So he like instigates it. I don't know. It would have been funny if the fan just sold it. It would have like went viral and the promotion probably would have loved it. Well, they probably would have been mad. I don't know, man. Mexico's crazy. Alberto was just throwing chairs at people and shit. Yeah, no, that's for real. He's no selling it. He's like, please stop, dude. Damn, that's crazy, man. Shout out LA Park. Yeah, keeping kayfabe alive, one mark and one chair at a time. So here's the other side of Sabu from Conrad Thompson. Chat me up about Sabu and the legacy he left behind. And so Blue Meanie and Rhino and Al Snow and Conrad Thompson, I'm here for it. They discuss the other side of Sabu.
I learned a lot traveling with him in ECW. And one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about, he went, and I had a job at the gym, so it wasn't like I was didn't have any revenue coming in. Not a lot, but, and then my ex-wife, she worked too, but she didn't have a green card, so she just worked under the table because she was from Germany. So at a little restaurant, so we were managing, paying rent and everything. But he would always pay for my food, always pay for the rental car, the hotels and all that. We all shared a room, and then I always offered to give him money, and he said, "I'm making more than you." He goes, I go, "Well, at least let me pack my food," and I never took advantage of it. He goes, "No," he goes, "but when I want to leave, we leave, and all that stuff." So we were on the schedule, which was the schedule I would have been on, but no, he did that a lot. And if some people were driving home and they were just going to sleep in the car, he'd give them money for a hotel room. So, which I learned, and I try to help out people along the way too.
And I think that needs to be, Conrad, I think that needs to be noted that Sabu went out of his way to help a lot of people. He really did. Saw him personally take money out of his own pocket to pay guys that didn't get paid on shows or cover their gas or.
He actually did that for me.
Yeah. And he did that a lot more.
And yeah, go and check out these streams, and check out the GoFundMe link. I might have it bookmarked. I know I retweeted it, but we're going to talk about that in the sicko section too. There's a lot of people who are like, we'll talk about it in a bit. Okay. I've given my opinion on this before, but anyways, continuing along. And I just want to give Sabu his due. What am I going to crack jokes? Maybe, but they're just telling sweet stories about him. I was a huge fucking fan.
Sabu had his demons and, but he was a good person. He was a good guy.
Meaning, I feel like when you were saying earlier, you learned a lot from Sabu, not just in the ring as a man. That's some of the stuff you were probably thinking about, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like a robot from the future.
You guys just brought up a memory. I was working on an independent show in Delaware, and the guy had a pre-show meeting about how the house was down and we're going to pay you off the DVD sales of the show. And I'm just like, yeah, I've heard this before. So I was, everybody looked at me. I was like, well, let's work the show. And I think I was one of the few guys that actually got paid. And I wrote in with my opponent, and after the show, we went to get something to eat, and I made in true Sabu. What I learned from Sabu is I reached into my pay and paid my opponent out of my pay to make sure he had something. I bought him dinner at the Oregon Diner afterwards and stuff like that. Just some things that are the right things to do, coming up in the business.
So people were trying to roast Samantha Irvin for her fluting. I quote tweeted this. I was like, we will take no flute shaming here at PWT. Because if you'd like some flute, we'll find you a flautist. Shout out Cornette. So former WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella. So this is in miscellaneous because Carmella's not in WWE and neither am I, pal. Or am I? It was me. Austin, it was me. So former SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella shared her personal professional experiences working with Vince McMahon in a recent Sports Illustrated Wrestling interview with Zach Haydorn. And it's funny, SI Wrestling not talking to Carmella. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Someone pull my card and fact check me, but I don't recall you guys clamoring to talk to Carmella before she was released. No. But she did say that she departed in early 2025. She stated that despite the wider controversy surrounding McMahon, she says, my personal experience with Vince was nothing but positive. She described him as always so open to her ideas and suggestions and said he would always make time for the talent. Carmella recalled pitching her alliance with James Ellsworth as a crazy idea that McMahon embraced, and she believes he respected her proactive approach to creative collaboration. So, should I hit an X-Files? I'm not trying to be conspiratorial, and this doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if this is the case. Because I'll make this criticism and people will be like, well, Tony Khan will do the same thing. I know. Okay. That goes without saying. This is just how like business, the world works. It's not about who you know. It's about who will say they know you. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. Notice the people who were on like the bigger Vince McMahon money and the people who had good relationships with him as well. But they're kind of like, you guys can go. That's all I'm saying. Right. And Triple H is bringing back in like Malachi Black. That's his guy. Aleister Black. You know, that was his guy in NXT. So there is a lot of that as well, to where they look at a Sonya Deville, who Vince loved, a Braun Strowman, who is on that Vince check, right? A Carmella, who listened to how she describes, like, she's like, no, it was great. He listened. So this is a Vince gal, more than likely, right? And Triple H is kind of like, oh, shift away from that a bit. That's all. I'm just pointing that out. Maybe that's a little too psychoanalytical, but I think we're seeing some pattern here. And shout her out. I think she's like having another kid, no? So just be a mom. I mean, you're good. Graves is in WWE. Unless she wants to go like get a big Tony Khan payday, go do it. Maybe a one-off. Do you guys think the sickos would eat up Carmella? She's very sports entertainment-y. I think they'd fucking be like, oh my God, Carmella's here. But I just don't know how much juice you'd get out of that squeeze, you know? So, but I always loved Carmella. I loved her with truth. I always thought that was funny. Her and Ellsworth was, of course, really funny. And again, I guess Vince she didn't have to get on a plane for him to hear her out. You know what I mean? So here's AEW's Mina Shirakawa and WWE's Kairi Sane. And I put this in miscellaneous because they're training BJJ with Matt Riddle. So let's take a look. So there's Mina. I think AZM was in there too, no? And then Kairi Sane was in there. And yeah, they're training with Matt Riddle. Yeah, they're doing like a promo shoot for something. Daniel Gracie, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, that's sick, man. And Riddle's legit, you know? He's a good wrestler too. Had solid punching power, was pretty decent. I don't think I swear to God, I think he took like 2 losses his whole career. Like he had a couple that were overturned because he was just smoking weed all the time, you know, and weed used to be illegal in MMA. But either way, Mina and Kairi Sane linking up, that's really cool. And good to see just wrestlers, literally a forbidden door, brought to you by Daniel Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, which is amazing. So fans of the THQ wrestling titles Beyond Nitro includes a 10,000 plus word chapter all about the development of WCW NWO Revenge. So I'm a mark for shit like this. This is one of the greatest wrestling games ever made. What is being said here? Work on various wrestler entrances would continue until the last minute, although due to space and time constraints, the inclusion of realistic theme music was ultimately deemed impossible. With the stated goal of presenting the most up-to-date roster ever, included in a wrestling video game, the development team continued to toil until Monday, August 17, the last day of programming. Damn. That night, Stevie Ray, formerly half of Harlem Heat with his brother Booker T, joined the NWO on Nitro, causing a late change to the code. He actually changed over to the NWO on our last day of programming. Right when they sent it out, man. Jesus. Video games used to be way cooler. Think about it. I read some posts. I was like, man, nobody talks about how like broken and impossible some of these N64 games were. Like zero explanation on how to do shit. And we figured it out somehow, man. And now you can get video games where you can put it on like a cinematic mode or whatever, where you just have to press one button and you can literally have full control over the game and shit. Back then, dude, we were punching in codes. You didn't know where to roll that ball of poo in Conker's Bad Fur Day. You had to go on cheatcc.com to figure that shit out, or whatever it was called, right? Cheat Central or Cheat City, whatever. But anyways, Keel later recalled, but we couldn't put him in the NWO or anything in the game. We just made it that his second costume was his NWO costume. We tried the best we could. Revenge for growing for a fan. Evidently, the weight had quickly. Okay, well, basic from Redacted. Oh, I didn't know Brendan Schaub worked with THQ. No, I'm just joking, guys. Okay, so moving along here. Nikki Bella has to pay Artem Chigvinitsev 200,000. Or no, what is that saying? Am I read? Okay, let me read up here because this graphic, I can't tell if that's a period or an apostrophe. Yep, that is 200,000. Jesus Christ. So TMZ reports details of Nikki Bella and Artem whatever's finalized divorce settlement. According to the documents, Nikki Bella has to pay Artem $3,500 per month in child support for their son Mateo. Speaking of Mateo, made a debuted in SmackDown. Their son Mateo, and a total of 200,000 in lump sum payments. Bella will also cover Mateo's speech therapist costs, with extracurricular activities being split. She retains her business, but if it's split, he just pays for it with the money she gives him. Oh my God. She retains her business trusts, including Stephanie Nicole Garcia Entertainment and Bonita Bonita. The couple will alternate major holidays. This is so fucking weird that this is all in the public. How cringe is that? You know, that this is all just like we just read what they're doing over their holidays with their kids and shit, and our noses are in their business like that. It's fucking weird. I'm gonna stop reading this, but let me just let me put it this way. Originally, the story was like he beat the shit out of her, and then apparently the investigation and the court and everything was like, no, that didn't happen. Like she instigated it or something. I wasn't there. I don't know. I'm not going to judge people's personal lives. Shit went down between them. I don't know. I'm not dating either of them, so I'm not going to speculate on that. But clearly, whatever went down, like she's paying up. So she obviously made more money than him, I guess, before they divorced. And yeah, I don't fucking know. We're going to move along because that's just such nosy Nelly stuff. So Hulk Hogan is eyeing Hooters IP for real American brand revival. We got a Hooters here, Jack. Is there a real Canadian beer coming out too, dude? That's 3% higher than that pussy American beer, brother. So Hooters, man, he's going to buy up Hooters, him and Eric Bischoff more than likely. So let's see how it pans out, and they can push the beer and sell it there. Is it good? I really need to get my hands on it. I need to look online and see if I can get it ordered or sent to me or something. So NWA and Women of Wrestling head to streaming with Roku Fast Channel exclusive. NWA and WOW are going to Roku Fast, which is like an extension, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They'll have a live 24/7. They had Lucha Underground on one of those, like a Lucha Underground channel or whatever. So shout out Roku. They've been getting into the wrestling business for a while now, longer than any of the other streamers. You know, they've been taking a chance on it. So definitely keep your eye on that. Something maybe to watch if you guys are falling off. Because listen, I know a lot of people are like, fuck AEW. And there's so many people I see online now who are like, I just haven't watched. Like, I'll maybe watch a pay-per-view. And it's like, if you're looking for other wrestling, I mean, it's out there. And now it's on Roku. Anyone really can go on Amazon, $30, $20. You get a little Roku thing, you know. It's a USB plug-in, boom. You'll have it right there. So Triple H's thought says, when you try to live up to your dad's gimmick because nobody told you it wasn't real. So former WWE star Ted DiBiase Jr. is facing 45 years in prison for alleged multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. I don't mean to chuckle, but his dad was the $1 million man. Now he's in a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. I don't live in the gimmick, right? This is the antithesis of his dad's gimmick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's tough, dude. 45 years, too. That's no fucking joke. So, yeah, the National Wrestling Alliance is joining the world of free streaming with Wrestling Central, a new 24/7 fast channel from Paramount Global. Content distribute. Okay, so it's from Paramount, but yeah, it's like it'll be an extension of Roku. Launching soon on the Roku channel in the US and Canada. Oh, nice. So it'll be in Canada, too. Hulk Hogan undergoes neck fusion surgery, brother. So another surgery, man. That is so many. Here's a triple threat match for the soft ground wrestling title at Carnage. Jordan Loverin pins Hamas Diamond. Spoiler. So we're going to look at these highlights here. Okay, it's been a minute since we've looked at soft ground. I don't know, man. Like, look at how many fucking people are here. And they're not just using the ring every time. They listen to the fans. I don't know, dude. Soft ground, the third or second, number 2 in the wrestling industry right now? I don't know. That's just There's people on the hard cam side and everything. Now, I'm going to be real. I don't want to see these guys in like Will Ospreay's Kenny Omega style gear in their matches, right? But the next investment should be getting people in this Fed, because people gave them a ring. They even know how to set up the mud pit better. Like, look at how the posts are cornered off, and it just looks way better. Look at the crowd. It's growing bigger, seemingly. I don't know, man. Did they force all those people to be there? I don't think it works like that. So all I'm saying is this, dude. They need individuality a little bit, some of these wrestlers. And I'm not saying go too crazy with it, as far as like shiny and sparkly and sequins and fucking pinks and all that stuff, but just individuality with the attire a little bit. I think they're all wearing black shorts, right? And so once we get there, now we're talking. Now we're talking free Roku fast streaming deals. Okay. Look at this shit. And you know, bumping on that mud is not fun. So shout those guys out, man. Crushing the game right now. Okay? So James Storm, the Cowboy, and Giga Chad Chris Van Vliet joined Disney alum Jason Earls in a new comedy short, Worst Man, called The Worst Man. So keep an eye on that. And they're calling James Storm TNA Wrestling's wrestling legend, right? And he went to NXT for like 2 matches. God damn, I always wanted to see him on the main roster. I don't think that'll ever happen. But yeah, TNA Wrestling Legend. It's cool that, well, I mean, it's Wrestling News Co., but let's start promoting him that way more. I saw another thing, though, where they were like TNA Wrestling Legend or whatever. So more of that. Maybe it's because they're affiliated with WWE. People are willing to do that. I don't know. But moving along now. So JBL and Hornswoggle recreate their WrestleMania 24 trash can spot. Craziness. Shout those dudes out. So Gail Kim has confirmed literally last second, like 8 hours ago or 10 hours ago or whatever. She said that she can no longer appear at tonight's NWA Crockett Cup event. She says, "I'm sorry, I have to announce that I can't make it to the Crockett Cup in Philly. I hate to let the fans down, and most of all, Natty and Kenzie. But post-cruise last Sunday, I went down hard and have been suffering severe flu, COVID symptoms. I did not want to announce in hopes to make a full recovery by today, but I'm still experiencing a high fever and have had to cancel this morning." Like, she's canceling because she's sick, you know, if anybody tries to jump down her throat for this. But she says, yeah, wishing the best of luck to everyone. So we don't get the moment. Like, here's the thing. Natty appearing in NWA is few and far between. So hopefully we can still get a Gail Kim Natty moment, because that's what I was hoping that was all building to. But she had to pull out last second. Speaking of fucking pull out, here's Ninja Mack. What's his name? Ninja Mack? Is that the right guy? Am I getting it right? I don't know. Here's the guy who does all the flips. He did it again. Oops, he did it again. He's wearing AEW colors. He's all elite. This is the GOAT right here, dude. Will Ospreay who? This is why that spot works too, because he doesn't look like a guy who could do that. You know what I mean? The shape of his body and like how tall he is and shit. You don't think he can just clear the top rope like that. fucking incredible. I actually love that spot, but because it's just like a viral clip on the internet, right? If I had to watch that every week, I'd go, okay. Well, you have to watch it every week here on PWT. So here's a little clip from GCW, a little botchamania.
Huge ladder on the floor. They took a chance and did not pay off. That's why you call it a high-risk maneuver.
Dude, he tries to jump from a ladder on the outside to the inside and just wipes out. The ladder on the outside to the inside of the ring is never a good idea, unless someone's out there holding it for you.
Huge ladder on the floor. They took a chance and did not pay off. That's why you call it a high-risk maneuver. Looked like he was maybe going for a big elbow drop, perhaps, on Cologne. Ended up.
You should do the tip in. If you're going to go from the outside on a big ladder to the inside, you should get tipped in, you know? I think that's just safer. Anyways, whatever. I'm not going to tell this guy to do his job. God damn it. But here's a guy named Shiho who he says, my name is Shiho, Korean pro wrestler. I'm also a promoter that made my PWS Korea sell out 3,000 tickets with $60 to $80 USD. We used to have only 10 to 100 crowds a year ago. Now we sell out 700 to 3,000 crowds every month. This is one of my story. Please share this story. And I responded to him. I was like, I'm going to share it tonight on the show, dude. And I'm going to DM this guy when I'm done on the show. This is fucking incredible. So he's grinding. Guys, go and follow at PWS Korea. They don't even have 1,500 followers on X. And, you know, he just sold out a 3,000 ticket venue, selling the tickets $60 to $80 USD. He used to get 10 people show up to 100 people show up just a year ago. Tajiri is with him, and he became the tag team partner of Tajiri. Here's his story.
How I have become a tag team partner of legend Tajiri.
Oh, he was in Canada, buddy.
Disco, good. Disco.
3月に入って突如として動き出した怪しげなチーム。そこで活躍するコリアン
Baddie alert.
アイドルシホ。今このセミファイナルタッグシホ。あなたの真の神の称号を得ました。
We fought super fair. Tajiri's misting people. He's funny too. Oh, and then she missed a guy. Damn, and he hits like he hits the Athena like spinning cutter off the top or middle rope there. That was sick. Hell yeah, man. And more of that. Becca's diss track, rather, called Mid Demon. That's what it is. Where she's dissing Janai Kai. Okay? If you guys are unfamiliar with her, she's like a Muay Thai fighter. She looks like an anime villain, and she's in MLW. I think she is, yes, their world champion. But they're women's world champion. Not that I need to make a distinction, gall. But here's Becca just dissing her.
B3CCA.
Hey, it's Becca, bitch.
I'm a demon shit.
Face card, $1 million. Chase you down, cops and robbers. You've been dodging me, I think that's really odd. You're a demon, bitch, I'm a god.
One punch and I knocked you out. One punch and you're on the ground. Knock the guard right out of your mouth. Give them something to talk about. One kick and you're on the ground. One kick and I knocked you out. Try to keep up, kid. I'm the queen of this shit, and you're just mid.
Your outfit, really mid. You're an NPC, I'm that main bitch. I'll take you shopping, get those toenails did, cause you're flopping. I'll fix your style, fix your hair, fix your stinky feet. You'll look a little bit better when you're getting your ass beat. I'm so Mother Teresa, I keep it fake like my name is Lisa. The scariest thing about you.
Becca Cook's top rapper ever. Maybe John Cena has her beat because he's the only musician to ever, just in general, drop an album, go platinum, and then just retire from music entirely and never release another album.
It is those nasty feet getting near this beautiful face. Honey, you can kick me all you want. I'm gonna get right back up and I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Exactly.
One punch and I knock you out. One punch and you're on the ground.
Can I tell you why Becca Cook? She has excellent beat selection. For real.
Knock the guard right out of your mouth. Give him something to talk about. One kick and you're on the ground. One kick and I knock you out.
And whoever she gets to produce her shit, I don't know. They know what they're doing. You know, they're trying to go for like that SoundCloud kind of vibe. The production on it is good, you know, and I know some of you might be like, oh, but it sounds shitty the way they tweak the whatever. Yeah, but that's the point, you know? If you're not into like modern hip hop and shit too, I know some people, they're like, I don't get it. I don't know. This isn't my favorite of her songs, but it's a diss track, so it's supposed to cut to the point. She was making fun of Janae Kai's stinky feet. Okay, she does wrestle barefoot, so those are probably a couple of stinkers. That's all I'm saying.
Try to keep up, kid. I'm the king of this shit, and you're just mid. I'm the king of this shit, and you're just mid. I'm the queen of this shit, and you're just mid. Yeah, wax on, wax off, deep shit. I'm about to teach you a lesson.
Wax on, wax off, man. Called her out. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the world debut. Okay. So Nikkita Lyons showed up in TNA and was whooping Tessa Blanchard's ass.
Lyons starting things off against Tessa Blanchard. Running forearm shiver. Oh, God. Nikkita Lyons is all over Tessa Blanchard right now.
See, this is the Nikkita Lyons. Like, where's this fire? Her getting sent to TNA fired her up, dude. And maybe Tessa's just making her look really good, but it was like, okay, she's actually kind of cooking there again like she was early on. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. I didn't watch that clip in full until now. I saw the everyone made GIFs and shit of like the split Bronco Buster or whatever. I saw that. But anyways, breaking. Tessa Blanchard with Mr. Stone will face Ariana Grace with her father, Santino Marella, at TNA Under Siege on May 23rd. So what day is that? Is that like a Friday or? Yeah, it's Friday. It says right there. Duh. Stupid. But yeah, that should be cool. Some people are mad at this. They're like, this isn't the TNA I love, doing this gimmicky shit. And it's like, bro, you had people transporting to other dimensions like a fucking year ago. O'Shea Jackson Jr. called AJ Francis a broke-ass Uncle Phil. Now, I detest that. Oh, come on. That's not very fair to take shots at Phils like that.
That's true. But right now, you acting and looking like a broke-ass Uncle Phil.
And I'm the broke-ass Dr. Phil. We'll be right back.
I should treat you like jazz and throw you out of here. Do not make me get static out here.
Don't threaten me with a good time, baby. Go ahead.
Throw you out here, brother. No, don't act crazy.
Chat, is O'Shea Jackson going to wrestle? So the Reality of Wrestling television title was on TNA TV there in the background. And so, or in the foreground, I guess, and they, in that scene anyways, and they they retweeted it or shot a picture. Donald Trump is invited to be to an upcoming TNA show. It'll be huge. It'll be the biggest TNA show ever. Was it bad or what? My wife's like that. That one was bad. That impression was bad. So TNA revealed the full lineup for the Canada versus USA Border Brawl event. Team Canada is gonna clean sweep clearly, right? So let's just look at these matchups, chat. Like Santino Marella is gonna wash Nick Nemeth. It's in a flag match as well. So we're gonna clearly get our flag, dude. We climb mountains and shit. We're in the snow. Right, so we can get flags. I know that for sure, right? Nick Nemeth, I don't know how good his flag grabbing or planting acumen is. So we're going to clean house. Santino clearly washes Nemeth, just technically, promos, character, all that. So Eric Young versus Matt Hardy. I mean, Matt Hardy has been washed for a while now. Let's be honest. Eric Young's going to pile drive this dude. 1, 2, 3, 4-minute squash match. It's over. The Northern Armory. I don't even know if I've seen them wrestle before, but I know this. They're going to shock the system, and they're going to beat the shit out of Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. I don't even know how those guys are still even a team. The Northern Armory, clearly led by Eric Young as well, who adopted them, trained under the great Josh Alexander, will mop the floor with the system, send them back to Boston or wherever the fuck they came from. We got Courtney Rush taking on my girl Vix Crow here, who does listen to PWT, believe it or not. Foxy. Now, you are my girl, but listen, Courtney Rush gonna whoop that ass. I'm sorry I said it, and if you unfollow me on Instagram, that's fine. But listen, I'm sorry. Courtney Rush gonna whoop that ass. Clearly, just in her prime right now, cooking. Chad agrees with me too. I know this whole way through. This whole thing isn't biased at all. So we have Channing Decker and Jesse Bieber. Yeah, they're great. They're gonna beat Moose and Dango for sure. We have Champagne Singh, okay, taking on Tommy Dreamer. We're going to whoop his ass, bust him open. Champagne Singh, way better than Tommy Dreamer, of course. Jody Threat takes on Tessa Blanchard. Hey, tag team champ's going to beat the world champ. And we have William Trudeau. Who? Oh, my God. William Trudeau, bud, versus Sammy Callahan. I mean, come on. We're obviously going to beat Callahan, right? This guy, this random dude is going to definitely whoop Callahan's ass, I assure you. Okay. And yeah, that's my preview of Border Brawl. So clean sweep, a shutout, as we'd say, as Skinner would say, back-to-back shutouts for the Oilers. Oh my God. So Alicia Fox, speaking of Foxy, says she would absolutely love to return to WWE and NXT. She says, I do love watching and popping my head in and looking at who is coming up. I would definitely take the opportunity to go to NXT and do something. I would want to roll around with any and all the girls if I were to be at TNA is Alicia Fox. I know it may be a name, but it's like a persona. I almost wonder if it would be difficult for me to return to her. Yeah, maybe they'd bring her in. Like if Paige is coming in, like her and Paige were tight for a long time, and maybe I just like what she's doing. Just do what you're doing with Tessa and TNA. You know what I mean? It's just got a lot of heat. So the Toronto Blue Jays, very Canadian heavy TNA news here, bud. One of the Canadian WWE's Canadian cousins, their sister company, their buddies. The Toronto Blue Jays just drop this for this great hit here, and they just say his name and he appears.
Here's Alejandro Kirk coming off the bench.
And this certainly got the crowd's attention.
And Kirk just clocked one there, bud.
Is a fair ball. Clement is going to come in to score, and this game is tied.
And so they just use Joe Hendry shit, like say his name and he appears. Joe Hendry responds with the clap, and then the Blue Jays respond. And they go, wave your hands from side to side. You know what I mean? They believe in Joe Hendry here in Canada, buddy. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA news. And that was the intro to PWT. Round of applause for the intro.